Have you ever sat down to tackle a big project, only to find yourself staring at the screen, paralyzed by the sheer size of the task ahead? Guess what? You are not alone. In fact, research shows that 20% of people are chronic procrastinators, putting off hard tasks because they seem just too overwhelming to start. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a fascinating topic: how to trick your brain into making those hard, often daunting tasks feel a whole lot easier. We've all been there. Whether it's a massive work project, a challenging study session, or even just the thought of cleaning out your garage. Some tasks seem so big that they're hard to even start. But what if I told you there are simple brain hacks that can make these tasks less intimidating and more manageable? These are strategies rooted in psychology that can help you break through that mental barrier and start making progress, no matter how tough the task may seem. So if you've ever struggled with procrastination, or found yourself putting off tasks because they just feel too hard, you need to stick around. By the end of this video, you'll have some practical tips that can transform the way you approach your to-do list. Let me share a story with you. A few years ago, I was asked to put together a project, a presentation that could make or break the promotion I wanted. It was the kind of project that felt so massive and so important that I kept putting it off. Every time I tried to start, I felt this overwhelming pressure, and suddenly, everything else, checking emails, organizing my desk the 100th time, even doing the laundry, seemed so much more appealing. I knew I was procrastinating, but I just couldn't get myself to sit down and actually start working on it. I'm sure many of you have been in a similar situation. Maybe it's that end-of-term paper you need to write, or that big report that's due next week. The more you think about it, the harder it seems. And before you know it, you're stuck in a cycle of avoidance. But here's the thing. What I didn't realize at the time was that my brain was actually playing tricks on me. It was magnifying the difficulty of the task, making it seem much scarier than it actually was. And the longer I put it off, the bigger that mountain grew in my mind. But then something changed. I stumbled upon a simple brain hack that flipped the script on how I approached hard tasks. And it made all the difference. Suddenly that massive project didn't seem so impossible anymore. It was like a switch flipped in my brain, and I went from feeling overwhelmed and stuck to motivated and productive. So what's the brain hack that made such a huge difference? It's called the 2-minute rule by David Allen. The idea is incredibly simple. When you're facing a daunting task, you just break it down into something you can start in 2 minutes or less. Instead of thinking about the entire project, focus on just the first small step. Think of something so easy that it almost feels silly not to do it. Here's how it works. Let's say you need to write a 20-page report. Instead of fixating on the 20 pages, tell yourself that all you need to do right now is open your computer and write the title. That's it. Pretty simple to do, don't you think? Or maybe you need to start studying for a big exam which is happening soon. Don't worry about the whole textbook. Just commit to reading the first paragraph of chapter 1. The magic of the 2-minute rule is that it tricks your brain into action. When you focus on such a tiny, manageable task, your brain stops resisting. It no longer sees the task as a threat, and suddenly getting started feels a lot less intimidating. And here's the best part. Once you've started, it's much easier to keep going. You're already in motion, and that initial momentum can carry you through much more of the task than you originally intended. Now let's talk about how you can implement this hack in your daily life. The next time you're faced with a hard task, start by identifying the smallest possible action you can take. Something that you can do in 2 minutes or less. Remember, it doesn't matter how small or insignificant it seems. The goal is simply to just start. For example, if you've been dreading cleaning out your closet, you can tell yourself that all you need to do is open the closet door and take out one shirt to donate. If you're avoiding a difficult conversation, start by just drafting a text message or an email. Once you've taken that first small step, you'll find that the task doesn't seem quite as overwhelming as it did before. And often, you'll find yourself continuing far beyond that initial 2-minute action. Another way to use this technique is to set a timer for 2 minutes and commit to working on the task for just that long. If after 2 minutes you want to stop, you definitely can. But more often than not, you'll find that once you've started, you want to keep going. It's a powerful way to build momentum and make progress on even the hardest tasks. Let's recap what we've discussed. We started with the idea that hard tasks often feel overwhelming, leading to procrastination and stress. But by using the 2-minute rule, you can trick your brain into action by making those big, scary tasks seem a lot more manageable. It's all about breaking the task down into the smallest possible action, something so easy that it's impossible not to start. This simple but powerful technique can transform the way you approach your to-do list. Instead of feeling stuck or intimidated by hard tasks, you'll find yourself making progress, one small step at a time. And over time, as you continue to use this hack, you'll build confidence in your ability to tackle anything that comes your way. Remember, success doesn't come from doing everything at once. It comes from consistent small actions that add up over time. So, the next time you're facing a daunting task, don't let your brain trick you into avoiding it. Use the 2-minute rule, and you will see how quickly those hard tasks start to feel a whole lot easier. Now I would love to hear from you. What's the hardest task you've been putting off? Try using the 2-minute rule and let me know how it works for you in the comments below. And if you're looking for more tips on how to boost your productivity, don't forget to check out my next video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.